Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer standing by. 303. Here we go. Buckle up, baby, because I think war's coming. We got Pete, we got Flounder. Team's all here, baby. Yeah, what day was that again? Tell me. And a gathering. I love this stupid song. Let's play a minute of it. About 30 seconds, right? Dun, 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 dun.
You just want to know.
Dun, dun. What could you tell, man? Oh, yeah, say it again. Now tell me, say the story. Dun, 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 bop. Yeah. I got my car back. Maybe you could tell. Dun, 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 dun. And I have named I've owned, what did I say? I think I've owned, 42 or 44 cars in my life. Bought and so forth since I was 16. And for the first time, I've named my car. I got my car back today after a shop thing. So thrilled and happy, and it's part of a whole mental process. It's the damnedest thing you ever saw in your life. Anyway, boys, we got Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, who I'm guessing might have done a Holy Crap at Sports podcast earlier today. Am I guessing, Pete, or not?
I got up at 6 a.m. at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, well, I would have welcomed you with already had the coffee ready in my place. But anyway, go ahead. So, and you did it then, did you?
I did, sir. I did, sir, as the sun came up.
Honestly, now I assume there was some like Monday Night Football reference or commentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't much because it was kind of a boring game.
Yeah. Well, give us a little tease on what's coming. You do a Holy Crap of Sports at a little after 5. Just what's on your mind sports-wise we can look forward to after 5.
We had 2 Game 7s, and frankly, the Astros are finally been defeated, so hopefully that dynasty is over. And so the Rangers hopefully will win the World Series, but we got the Phillies and the D-backs later tonight, and hopefully the Arizona will take care of Philadelphia.
Now, Texas has never won the World Series, correct? And neither has Arizona, have they?
Arizona won in 2001. They beat the Yankees.
Did? Yeah. God, I totally forgot that.
Yeah, they had Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson. That's why they won.
Randy. I remember.
Remember, that was after 9/11.
Yeah,
and
that's
everybody
right.
wanted the Yankees to win, but Arizona
for
won.
New York. That's right. And Texas, I'd love to see. And by the way, did you see the look on old manager Sourpuss's face in Houston in the dugout when all of a sudden they got like 7 runs or something? And now
he let the guy in too long.
Yeah. In fact, even the announcers were saying, how long can he keep this going? I mean, he actually said, how long can he keep doing this? And then boom, they're the 3-run homer. I forgot what it was, but and he may be retired now. Finally, I guess, huh? Maybe.
Yeah, Dusty, very interesting
Dusty
human
Baker.
being. Yeah. He started out as a Brave, you know.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. Absolutely.
But always opinionated, always interesting.
Was he with the Dodgers for a while too? Wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. He was traded to the Dodgers, and that's where he mainly played, yeah.
Anyway, we'll do we got a bunch of sports stuff. And again, Game 7s. I love Game 7s. It's just, it was very exciting, and here we go, last one tonight. Okay, 306. And Flounder, what's new with you, my friend? Sitting here with the mechanical mangler at the controls.
Same old. Doing good.
Well, there you are. And Flounder's got a whole bunch of comedy bits for us today. In fact, among them will be Dave Chappelle, who Pete remembered earlier as we were chatting that will be here in Atlanta on Halloween night. Sorry, I had a thing there. On Halloween. I don't know what happened. I got a little something stuck here in the old thing there. The glottal stopped here. And he'll be here on Halloween night. And we're wondering how ticket sales are going and whether he'll get some reaction because he got kind of booed out of the... A lot of people left his performance a couple of days ago in Boston. Is it here next door to us, or is it up? Is it the stadium, or do we know?
Probably State Farm Arena.
Fox. He's at a bigger venue.
Yeah, he would be
at a bigger venue
next door.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll play a little Dave Chappelle bit. Again, he's one of my favorite comedians, and I hate to see the political stuff of it. Again, it all started during the pandemic, and then freedom of speech stuff, and the left wants to censor everybody, and so it's just the freaking politics. And he was one of the first guys saying, let's not. Well, we don't want to do this. Anyway, we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, guess who is playing? Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry. He's playing at State Farm Arena.
Yeah, excellent.
Is he playing State Farm?
Okay.
Yeah, guess who is playing next door?
Who's playing next door?
Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham.
That would be the son of John Bonham, who was the drummer for Led Zeppelin.
I didn't know. He has a comedian son, a stand-up guy, huh?
No, he's a musician. My God.
Well, you were talking Dave Chappelle and said, if I guess it will be next door. And I thought, well, another comedian. What? You guys.
He's played for The Who. He's played for Ringo. He's played for the Led Zeppelin get-togethers. Jason Bonham.
Oh, Jason. I thought you said Jason Misnanum. I was a whole... Yeah, well, Jason Bonham used to play with The Who. A very famous player. You can all eat me. How about that?
Nice save. Oh, man.
Yeah, you and those the beautiful morning bastards got me again today. There's tons of, there's some blue ink on the table. Oh, it's the All-American Anal Team in the morning show here at 106.3. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the Rhino's going freaking nuts because he found some magenta stains on the, for the record. I mean, hold it up to the freaking Facebook. Do you see this? Do you see? I bring several different colored pens every day, and because I mark up, I actually, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., I do nothing but work this radio station stuff. And I have color coding things and color coding stuff. And so I know all the stuff that's the stuff and things like that. And so once in a while, if I have the paper down, it might be a teeny weeny little tiny little thing on the table, and they go nuts every morning about it. It's not like I do it on purpose. I never do anything on this table. If it rubs off from something, then it rubs off from something. But God, I mean, like any third grader, I have lots of different color pens, and they brought that up this morning too. So anyway, I thought that was the all anal team on our morning crew. So boys, I'll try to be neater, but I don't know what more I can do, but I will definitely try to be.
Why do you have so many different colored pens?
Well, it's the way you work to organize your thoughts and the differences and the things you're going to talk about.
You're regressing.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot. It takes me 8 hours to get ready to do 3, as you know, and it's just you have to keep track of stuff. I have 2 different colors on this one page alone. In fact, I've got the all anal team here in orange. So for some reason, I'm not sure why. And I've talked about my shoes later, and that's in kind of a dark red. Anyway, it's a whole other story. Also, I'm going to ask you if I'm wrong about doing something about guys who try to cut me off on deliberately knowing that they're in a short lane that's going to end soon, and deliberately speed up and try, and they will pull up next to you and try to cut. Well, I'll ask about the question all later. Let's see. Here's another phone calls. We got all the news. I promise we'll get all newsy stuff. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Among other things, between now and next Tuesday, which is Halloween, we would like to get your ghost stories. If you have a ghost story or a freaky Halloween story, I mean, a real one, not, just goofing around with us, but I mean, a real serious a touch with, the supernatural kind of thing. We'll do it. We're kind of a Halloween week just for the fun of it. Also, I'm going to talk later on. Pete found this kind of funny story about the way a woman, a young girl, it's a 20-something girl, met her future husband after calling the cops on him. And I got to thinking, do you have a I can't believe how we met story? Your true love, and it was just totally weird, wacko way that you met your true love story. And I think they're really the real good, funny, weird ones are probably a few and far between, other than just getting set up and meeting somebody at the store or whatever. But anyway, just for fun, 404-741-1230, 1230. And let's see. Did I mess up my stuff? No. Donald Trump's in court. One of his other attorneys, Jenna Ellis, has now pleaded guilty in a tearful such a way. I mean, this is just brutal to me, what they're doing. And she pleaded guilty, and she is throwing the other attorneys under the bus. We'll also talk about Donald Trump mocking Biden for using the baby girl stares. Also, a former liberal prosecutor is now trying to complain that Ivanka Trump is going to turn on her dad, much like he would do to her and throw her under the bus. What's going on?
Real quick, we have Rhino on the line. He wants to comment on
the Rhino. I believe that's the Rhino. I'm sorry. You get the title right there, mister. The Rhino, what's going on, my friend? What's happening?
Well, what's going on, my friend. Listen, this isn't one mark. This isn't like a little mark. It's like a Rorschach painting every morning when we come in on that desk.
Nonsense. You guys, I can't believe I gives Lowe something to talk about after he gets done with all his statistics or something, I guess. It'd bring a little color to the morning to the all-anal team in the morning. There's nothing. There's a teeny little mark. There's nothing there. And I'm telling you, it's just off the paper. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well, you know what? Put something else down. I'm beginning to think they're messages like help, get me out of here. Like, are you calling for help?
Being held prisoner.
He's touching you. I don't know what it is.
Bad touching. Well, I will try to do better. But honestly, in fact, when I get done tonight, I'm going to take a picture. I'll take a picture now and take a picture when I leave, and you'll see if you guys be complaining about bitching again in the morning, team. All right, you guys, hang in there. Hi to the team, and I can't wait for all golf. You're going to be there for the golf tournament. Everybody's going to be there, right? That'd be fun on November 6th.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have a really good time. I'm so excited that we're doing this for the veterans, and, hopefully we'll raise a lot of money for the Warrior Alliance. And, now that I'm glad that we're allowed to go, and you're there, and Pete's there, and Flounder, the whole team.
Tug's the Navy man.
So.
We got the Navy and the Marines, so we're covered here so far. Anyway, all right, I got to go. You're killing me. Look out, 314, the Rhino and crew in the morning on 106.3. Right now, you got the Kipper, Pete, and Flounder, and stuff coming up now. Whole story world coming up next. Here we go. Look out. The Fat Man. It started rock and roll $1 million sellers. For you. Fats Domino, piano player, singer, songwriter, huge superstar from many decades ago. Fats Domino on this day passed away at age 89 in his home in Harvey, Louisiana. He was ill for a long time, attracted national attention with his first ever recording, The Fat Man, made in 1949. The Fat Man sold 1 million copies by 1953, widely considered the first rock and roll record to ever make $1 million in sales. $1 million in sales. Sorry, I'm a little on my head here today myself. He had 35 records in the Billboard Top 40. His 1956 version of Blueberry Hill, selected for the Library of Congress National Recording Registry of Historic Sound Recordings, worthy of preservation. God, what could you shorten that name a little, maybe? God, the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry of Historic Sound Recordings worthy of preservation. By the way, remember during the hurricane, he had to be rescued. He said, I'm not going anywhere. And then he said, I'm going, so help. Help! So they came to get him. By the way, 319-404-741-1230. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Flounder, have you got a new... okay, now, I do birthday lists and history lists at home every night before the show the next day. And Flounder does one, and Flounder's our official musical director. So he does a music kind of a history thing and then picks out the artists he wants to play for bumpers. He also does a birthday and history list for me as well from his other source. Have you got a new one now?
Well, the one that I normally do had like 4 birthdays on them, so I went to another one and used theirs for today. Because
I was wondering, because here's what and by the way, this just shows how people, particularly in broadcasting or sources for broadcast information, stuff like that, are pretty freaking lazy. And now this is not Flounder's fault, but here's the new list. In fact, I noticed the same thing on my birthday list. Well, I'll tell you exactly.
Because it doesn't note the age.
Right. My birthday list has 4 names. It had 4 names on it, but Flounders had. He went to a different source. Here's what it says: birthdays Tuesday, October 24th, 1986. Drake, Canadian rapper, songwriter, and actor Aubrey Drake Graham records under the mountain name Drake. Okay, it says 1986 Drake. So 86, 96, 2006, 2016. That's 30. 16 to 20 is 34. 20 to 23 is 37 years old today. Drake is 37. I mean, it's amazing. And by the way, if you listen to radio stations, or at least they used to, I don't know if anybody even does birthdays anymore. If you listen to Sirius XM, if they're doing a birthday list, they'll say Drake, born in 1986, Sabrina Washington, born in 1970. Well, tell how old they are. That doesn't do anything for anybody. But somebody driving along in their car's got to start adding in their head like I just did. I mean, come on, you're killing me.
Well,
These are freaking lazy. What?
Everybody in their car is doing it much faster than you do.
Well, I know. I was giving you the example. I mean, it's ridiculous. These freaking lazy stoop nagels. God. All right. Okay. Now your history list. I mean, I know. I nitpick it very succinct. Boy, if I got a food nitpick, I'll get to later, too, if I remember it. This day, 1939. In the precursor to the Democrat Party, Nazis started making Jewish people wear the yellow Star of David and the word Judah, and that meant for everybody over the age of 6. It was a precursor to throwing hate at anybody who has a sign that says MAGA on a hat. So the same way that the Nazis hated the Judah, the liberals and Democrats hate MAGA. This shows that the people are trying to make America great again. It's kind of a precursor from 1939. Your history lesson for the day. All right, how's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder. We got the whole thing there. Okay. We'll do some newsy stuff. Former Trump attorney Jenna Ellis. You've seen her on TV. She's a blonde woman, an attractive woman. Probably, what is she, 38 years old, I believe. And she went into court today as part of the Fulton County District Attorney Fanny Chicken Liver, people trying to screw this man. Ellis's attorneys informed the judge that she was pleading guilty to aiding and abetting false statements, and she read from a prepared typed statement. Quote, as an attorney who's also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously, and I endeavor to be a person of sound moral. In the wake of the 2020 election, I believed that challenging the results on behalf of President Trump should be pursued in a just and legal way. I endeavored to, and notice how she gives herself, the benefit of the doubt, of course, that she was really trying to, okay, here she says, I endeavored to represent my client to the best of my ability and work closely with other lawyers, providing her with information that she then told the media. Closely given information with other lawyers gave her information which she then told the media. What I did not do, but I should, was make sure the facts that the other lawyers, the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true. But in the frenetic pace of attempting to raise challenges to the election in several states, including Georgia, I failed to do my due diligence. Those darn other lawyers gave me stuff they said was true. Golly. She was charged with one charge of aiding and abetting false statements in writing. Could get a year in prison. But no, she's going to serve 5 years probation and a $5,000 fine to the Secretary of State within 30 days here in Georgia, and 100 hours of community service and an apology letter to the voters of the state of Georgia. Georgia voters, those darn lawyers, they told me stuff that was true and it wasn't true, and I didn't investigate it. I took there. She cried. She was tearing. And now she's going to cooperate with other prosecutors at all those other hearings and all the other pretrial matters. And she was crying at those darn other lawyers. Golly. Oh, wow. Speaking of scumbag lawyers, chicken liver covering their butts. Well, I guess we all would. If all the, once again, Fanny Chicken Liver, the Gangland Mall, who's been, trying to do the slimy slime bag case, whatever it is, for like 7.5 years and can't even pick a freaking jury or something. Anyway, so she's all happy because she's a Trump hater from way back. Turning lawyer. What they do is they charge they charge 19 people. And now what's the number 3 or 4 or 5 that's now turned? Of course they're going to turn. They don't want to go to prison for 5 years. And lose their law license and their family. Obviously. So that's what they do. They overcharge and they charge you with like RICO violations. Come on, for Al Capone stuff. What do you think she's going to do? Plead not guilty and fight it in court?
Well, she can't fight it in Fulton County because they're all rigged juries.
Yeah.
They're all anti-Trump, anti-Republican to begin with.
Remember the special grand jury that was at the start of this whole thing was run by a witch.
Yeah, hated Trump.
Literally a witch. A Wiccan witch. She identifies as a witch. She has websites as a witch. She has potions.
She's a witch.
She's a witch.
She turned me into a newt.
A newt. I'm a newt.
I got better.
And then you got Michael Cohen, another weebly little scumbag. I like to grab him by the hair on his face and smack him in his face about 9 times back and forth, Just you little dirty, snotty little piece of scumbag.
He has no hair.
By the chinny chin then. Pick something. God, he's just and he's doing the Letitia James. Boy, talk about Trump haters. In New York, the Attorney General ran on the platform, I'm going to get Donald Trump. And that's how she won, and bingo, boongo. Michael Cohen, slimy little liar, has already been convicted of lying. And he testified this morning that he and his other attorneys were told to increase Donald Trump's total assets number based on a number that he arbitrarily elected. My responsibility, said slimy little Cohen, the liar, is to reverse engineer the various different asset classes to increase those assets. And the prosecutor said, when you say number, what number are you talking about? The prosecutor asked, and he said, whatever number Mr. Trump told us. Donald Trump was in the gallery and was throwing dart eyes at him. Yeah. Had a scowl here a couple of times, was talking to other buddies in court and so forth. Michael Cohen claims that Trump just wanted to get higher up on the list of the Forbes annual list of rich people. Although Trump posted a quote on Truth Social from Cohen saying how much he admired his boss. He's been more than just a boss, professionally and personally, a patriarch, a mentor, so on and so forth. Cohen's criminal history also front and center. He convicted several crimes in 2018, including tax evasion and lying and phony campaign finance charges. Donald Trump ripped Cohen as a proven liar. He's a proven liar. You know, felon can serve a lot of time lying. We're going to go in and see him. He's a liar trying to get a better deal for himself. It's not going to work. And by this case, by any other judge, would have been over a long time ago. We did nothing wrong. And by the way, now, and the media, of course, loves this kind of stuff. The former U.S. attorney named Joyce Vance has now been making the rounds of media people, and she says, I mean, they can't leave Trump alone. They are so living in his freaking head. This former U.S. attorney is now all over the media saying, well, she's on a civil discourse newsletter and says Ivanka Trump might soon have a tough decision to make, just like her daddy. She said the former prosecutor, U.S. attorney, says the former president's eldest daughter may well have to choose between daddy and perjury. Ivanka Trump served as a White House advisor and is contesting the Attorney General Letitia James, the Trump hater, calling her to testify in the father's civil trial in New York. Ivanka is arguing she shouldn't have to appear because she wasn't deposed before the trial, but that likely won't wash because she's a fact witness about the alleged price manipulation of the penthouse. Therefore, should be permitted to call her to take the stand. Her testifying should be a tough call for Ivanka. Last week, pictured at reality personality Kim Kardashian's birthday party. And then this girl says, given her father's reputation for throwing even his closest allies under the bus, it's going to be hard to imagine Trump sacrificing himself for her. As the wheels come off the Trump legal wagon, it's going to be everybody for themselves. I mean, these people are freaking vicious. You know, they can all go to hell. Honestly, this is treason. These people are traitors. They'll do anything to overturn the natural course of events in America, USA. Dirty, rotten scumbags. 3:30 with a carrot, Pete, and flour. We got something funny coming up, though, I promise you. Probably there. Right, Pete? We got, I promise you.
Yeah.
Almost promise you. It's 3:30 or something. I don't know. Da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun. Hold on, Ruby. We got Ruby on the horn. Be with her in just 1 second here. On this day in 2013, the 500 greatest albums of all time list was published by NME. I don't know what that is. The top 5, well, let's see. Let's go backwards. Let's say I got number 5, top graded 500 greatest albums of all time. Number 5, The Velvet Underground and Nico with The Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
Number 4, The Strokes.
Mass Music Entertainment, MME.
Oh, no, it says NME.
Well,
So,
never mind.
I don't. Sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not arguing with him. Just saying it's a freaking N. I'm sorry. Anyway, number 4, The Strokes. Is this it? I've never heard of them.
They're an early 2000s band.
Yeah,
The number 4 greatest album of all time?
No.
I mean, you got to be. Anyway, number 3, David Bowie, Hunky Dory.
Yep. Well, I don't know if that was his best.
That's. Well, anyway, what do I know? Number 2, this one, The Beatles with Revolver.
Yeah.
Number 2 greatest album of all time. And this group, NME, published of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Number 1 on the list, The Smiths, The Queen is Dead.
Oh, please.
Never.
No.
Well,
And then
that's
Morrissey's-
what we're just saying. That's it. All right. Well, hold on. Crap.
They didn't meet his murder, right?
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, I always do at least 4 sneezes. Oh, I can't believe I cut it off for 2. Coming up, House Republicans and their thing. We got the hostage. We got stuff like that. I'm going to talk about the cell phone and social media's modern day cigarettes. But first, to the phones. It's Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Welcome aboard. We're going to talk a little bit later on. We have a story of a young woman, who came home from partying early one morning, overnight, and found a strange guy sleeping on her couch. And so she called the cops. They arrested him, hauled him off, and she ended up marrying the guy, which is kind of a strange tale. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun if someone has a fun story about the way they met their true love to share it with us. And you called. Welcome aboard. I appreciate you calling. What's your story?
Well, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico for my first job after college and as a teacher. And I roomed with Karen, who came from California for her first job as a teacher. And there was this art teacher at the school named Sam, and he kept bugging me. He said, Ruby, you've got to meet my roommate. You just have to meet. And yes, Sam, never mind,
Yeah.
So it was October 3rd, the Feast of the Little Flower, and there was going to be a procession in honor of St. Francis, because Santa Fe, as everybody knows, is named La Ciudad Real de la Santa Fe de San Francisco de Assisi.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. So the Holy Face of which is Santa Fe of St. Francis.
St. Francis.
So the cathedral was the Cathedral of St. Francis. So it was an outdoor procession, and it's cold at night there. It's higher than Denver, the altitude is.
Oh, wow.
They had bonfires every so often along the street at night. And then there was a hill, and the bonfires went all the way up around the hill that illuminated it. And at the top, we said the rosary and we prayed. So I came back. Karen didn't want to come with me. She was grading papers or something, so she didn't want to come with me. So I got home. I hear bing bong at the door, and there stands Sam, the teacher, with this wonderful tall creature. He said, I did find a roommate. So they came in. We fixed coffee and cookies. And then I got Sam in the kitchen. I said, doggone it, why didn't you call me? I said, look at me, I'm a mess. I don't have my contacts in. I'm wearing these glasses. I have this ratty old sweater on. My hat mashed down my hair. And I said, because we just moved in together, we don't have a phone yet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh. And so the three of us, Sam, Karen, and I, had the school to discuss. And here we were all new from different places. I think Sam was from Kansas,
Yeah, Kansas
and
Sam.
Doug was from Texas.
Texas Doug is there. Yeah.
So one day I was looking out the window doing dishes because there was the parking lot,
Well,
and
you see a lot.
we see Sam and Doug getting in the car with these two girls.
Oh, boy.
And I tell Karen, I said, look at that. And she says, yeah, but don't worry. Look at the two guys are sitting up front, and the two girls are sitting in the back, so it's okay.
As they should, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so then later on, I asked Doug, I said, what was up with that?
Yeah, what the hell's that bitch doing in the car with my man? He was going to say
Well, the two of them, each one had, he said, those are our two next-door neighbors from
boy.
Oklahoma, two Okies.
Oh, the Oklahoma
And he
girls.
said-
You can't trust the Oklahoma. They don't trust anybody.
So he said the reason we had to take them for a ride was they were letting us watch their TV. We don't have a TV yet. We wanted to see the football games.
So in return for a little of this, a little of that, sure. No, that'd be silly.
No, but anyway, I was not looking for a husband, and I was not praying for a husband on that session because I had just given a ring back east in Pennsylvania, and I had gotten out of Dodge. I went as far away as I could to Santa Fe.
Yeah, it's a long way
And
from
the
Dodge.
Holy Spirit brought a husband to my doorstep.
Well,
now, who can top that?
That's a very sweet story for a lady with glasses and a ratty sweater who had just come back from a bonfire to find her true love waiting for her as she was. Well, that's it. Ruby, that's a sweet story, and I hope it has a happy ending forever and ever.
Well, he died of Alzheimer's, so... And you know what? You didn't even meet me at the Fox to see Greg Gutfeld with my empty seat. My second seat taken.
Well, that's right. It must have been a miscommunication. Anyway, sweetie, you have a great day.
I understand you drive at night.
I do. I can still drive at night.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Next time there's a concert, I'm going to call.
All right, sweetie.
And you're going to pick me up. And we're
Oh,
gonna
my
go.
God. Off we go. All right. So I got to have to sign a release of some kind. It looks like some kind of a non-liability agreement or something, I think. Thank you, Ruby. What a sweet girl.
All you got to hope is that she doesn't take her love to town.
Ruby. Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, speaking of... Can we do a non-newsy thing for as long where we killed the segment?
Absolutely.
I hate this when this happens on my phone. On my phone, I mean, I know you guys get the same thing. All of a sudden, somebody will pose a question on your cell phone. You're on your Facebook page, something, and it says, question. The question this morning was, what's the saddest song you ever heard? First of all, what a horrible thing to have people all of a sudden start thinking about. What's the saddest song you ever heard? And I immediately remembered that last night going home as I'm flipping around doing stuff and listening to the show, the guy after us, and then when he goes in a break, I listen to music. And one of the songs that came on was Tammy Wynette, I Don't Want to Play House. Oh, my God. And my other favorite, saddest song in the world, if you want to have a good cry, is Wayne Newton, Daddy, Don't Walk So Fast. Oh,
Daddy,
my God.
Don't you walk so fast.
And so somebody put that on my freaking phone. And so, since like 9 o'clock this morning, while I'm trying to get ready for doing all my work stuff, I still keep thinking about those two stupid songs. Oh, what a horrible thing to do. Do you have a favorite, worst favorite, saddest song?
Yeah, they're not particularly sad songs in themselves, but they just remind me of sad times.
Yeah.
The two Glenn Campbell songs, Wichita Lineman and Galveston. But the saddest song I ever heard is Hurt, by Johnny Cash's version of Hurt.
I'm trying to remember that one. What that song?
We played it before. It was done by, who's the... Oh my God! 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, it's like Tammy or the one who's I'm trying to think of. I know the name. It's a girl's name. It's just like Billy or Tammy or Ricky or.
What are you talking about?
The song Hurt.
No, it's from 9 Inch Nails, and Johnny Cash did a version of it.
Okay, but I thought Timmy Yoro or something like that did a version, I think, of a song called Hurt, and I think it was a very powerful ballad, like from the late 50s or something.
This is not that old. No.
Yeah. And what was the other one you mentioned?
The other two were the old Glenn Campbell songs.
Oh, yeah.
They're not sad in themselves.
By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be...
No. Wichita Lineman and Galveston.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, yeah. In fact, I think of those with my kids, and I get kind of sad because when they were little, they would say, "Daddy, Daddy, play, Rhinestone Cowboy and stuff like that." So anyway, but that's a happy sad. That's a missing my little kids. That's not a sad. Anyway, okay. Well, we're done with. We have another. Well, get another. Hold on, we got another call. You want to do it now, or you want to wait? What do you want to do?
We'll go to break, and when we come back, we'll take these two calls. It's Michelle and Jeff want to talk about relationships.
Outstanding. I like it. In fact, I think this is, I'm going with this. We'll do it as long as you want. Because frankly, I don't want to talk about tortured babies and stuff and going on with a war about to start. So thank you all. God bless America. We're going to get your calls next. 404-741-1230. 346 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
Take your love to town.
At one point in my life, when I was newly single, I sent away for, I think it was called the Peach Blossom Catalog or something like that. There's something like that. So whatever, I can't remember the name of it. And it was women mostly from the Philippines and places in the South Seas. And they have pictures and little bios, and they're gorgeous, and they're happy to be soon to become American wives and citizens. And many times it's good news for their entire families who...
absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, and a lot of guys do it. I've seen a lot of happy stories about it. I mean, obviously you need to, make sure what you're doing, but clearly this works for a lot of people. And if it does work for you, will you let me know about it? Will you? And are you going to see her, or is she coming over here?
No, I'm going over there in May, and we've already got the paperwork started to get her moved over here. So everything's looking really good right now.
All right. Well, listen, keep us posted. I appreciate it, and best of luck to you. Hope it works out perfectly. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, and nice to talk to you. 353. I thought about it. I thought about it. Of course, it's a whole big thing. You got to fly it. You got to get PayPal stuff. Michelle's with us here on the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 354. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. I appreciate your calling. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good, Kimmer. How are you?
Well, I'm on the right side of the grass. Do you have a little story for us?
I do. I met my husband through your radio show.
Really?
Yeah, back on when you were on that station we will not mention.
Okay, that's all right.
Back in February of '98, you hooked us up on a blind date to go to Riverdance.
Oh my God, I remember that. Oh, in fact, I used to make fun of Donald Flagley's I'm dancing, I'm river dancing boy. Remember, I used to make fun of him. We gave away tickets. Oh my goodness, I can't. Well, so tell me what happened. Have you met him? And tell me what the deal is.
Yeah, we got married, and we just celebrated 24 years together.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I can't believe it. And how did the date work? I mean, how did it all with the tickets and everything?
Obviously, it went well.
Yeah, but now, so I mean, was there an adventure of a surprise or anything, or something unusual, or it must have been a really good time?
Well, besides meeting through your radio show, he parked in my neighbor's driveway and showed up at her door. She had to escort her down to my house. And then we just hit it off. We called into your station a couple times and did little updates on how our relationship was progressing.
Yeah.
And then we got married and just celebrated 24 years.
Wow. And this was a totally blind. What made you go for it? A blind date to go to see Riverdance? Wow. I mean, pretty gutsy.
It was either that or I had to spend a weekend, a Valentine weekend with my girlfriend who'd just gotten dumped. So it was either take a risk with a blind date or listen to her bawling her eyes out for 3 days.
Talk about irony. Your girlfriend gets dumped, you go on a blind date and get married. What a country.
Yeah, she was not happy about that.
I'll bet. And all because you got tickets from the Kimmer on the radio? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's thrilling. I'm absolutely thrilled for you. Happiest of anniversaries. And you tell your husband, and he's obviously a lucky guy because you're a sweet gal and you got a great personality, and no wonder he went for you right away. Was it love at first sight? I mean, were you
still smitten? Oh, it was for him.
Really?
Definitely for him.
Now, did he ever, now, just for kicks, did he ever say, honey, when I went next door by mistake, you opened the door, I said, I really don't think I want to go out with this girl. I mean, did he ever, I mean, he probably said something when he thought the other girl was you.
No, he didn't, but he did always mention that he couldn't believe what great legs I had when he saw me in my dress that night.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, as a leg man, I can tell you that's something you know spot right away. Oh, man, what a great story. It's just a great story. And I remember that so well. I used to make so much fun of the river dancing, and it brought you together with your true love. And 24 years, is that what you said?
24 years,
Holy
yes, sir.
cow. Oh, I'm so happy for you. You have a great day. Thank you. You really made my week, that's for sure. And I hope you have it. And I can't wait for you to talk to hubby when he gets around again and relive another happy memory. Outstanding.
You guys have a good day.
Thanks.
I enjoy listening to you.
Thanks. You're very kind. Thank you so much. What a nice story. What a nice story.
Only slightly marred by one thing.
Well, what did I do?
You mentioned yourself in the third person.
Oh, well, it's the Kimmer. When I'm on the radio, I'm the Kimmer. That's all I know. It's like I didn't want to take credit for it, but I had to mention, what happened. She mentioned it happened on the radio, and I remember that very well. I absolutely remember that. Every minute of that whole segment.
And for that guy to put up with Riverdance, man, she had to be good looking.
I'm dancing. Oh, Lord. I think he's still doing it. I think there was a show featuring.
Really?
I think they're still doing the River.
Michael Flatley?
I think he's still doing it.
Oh, man.
It's over the back of my head. Anyway, wow. 3:58. Well, if you have a relationship story, we'd love to hear it. Not didn't do anything with the radio, but still, any funny. We're always happy to have fun, happy stories, especially these days. And we'll be talking coming up about the latest with Hamas and Israel and the ground war. By the way, freaking Putty Tat now is getting involved. Barack Hussein Putty Tat, the divider-in-chief, the most hate-filled, divisive president we've ever had, is now he's saying, well, if you go on, you Israeli people, you're going to do this war thing. You're risking backfire because you keep killing all these Palestinian civilians and stuff. And I'm thinking, whoa, hold on a minute. For one thing, who the hell are you? We know you're pulling the puppet strings for President Joseph Nostra, but holy crap, what balls you got to try to tell Israel when they should go fight for their defense?
He's doing what he always does, lecturing people about things he knows nothing about.
Remember, the only thing he ever did was he was a community organizer. He was the guy, all right, you go over here, you go over here. That's what he did. He organized his community political people, and he served 2 years in the Senate, gave a speech where Joe Showers with daughter said, hey, you know what? He's pretty clean for a black guy. He almost kind of sounds like a white guy, pretty clean and doesn't sound that stupid or anything. So maybe one day he could be a hit. And then he gave that one lousy freaking speech after 2 years in the Senate, and they said, oh, here's our guy. And the fix was in, and the rest is history. And now he's buttoning everybody else's business from behind the scenes. Oh, my God. All right, it's 4 o'clock. The Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Have a little fun here on your freaking Tuesday. There you go. Stand by. Look out. Here we go. Down to rock and roll, baby. Tell them a little story. On this day, 2004, Queen became the first rock act to receive an official... What happened? Oh, God, they killed him. The first rock act to receive an official seal of approval in Iran. Western music was still strictly censored in the Islamic Republic, where homosexuality is considered a crime. They'll put your hands behind your back and throw you off a 4-story building 8 or 10 times just for the fun of it. But an album of Queen's greatest hits was released this week in Iran in 2004. Freddie Mercury, proud of his Iranian ancestry and illegal bootleg albums and singles, had made Queen one of the most popular bands in Iran. Which is kind of tough. We'll do a quick birthday here. We'll do the style of this new source here. F. Murray Abraham, born in 1941. Okay, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 22. The man is 84 years old. Thank you. And by the way, his name is not F. Murray Abraham. It's Murray Abraham. He put the F in there just for the fun of it. Says it sounded classy. As far as I'm not making that up, which is fine. And by the way, one of my favorite movies ever is Amadeus. And his role in Amadeus was spectacular. In fact, I remember saying, boy, what an Academy Award performance. And I think he may have lost it to that tall, skinny guy who was in the Gangs of New York, whose name is gone from my head right now. Who's that actor? You guys know that. Anybody there? Hello. Anybody?
Daniel
Day-Lewis. There you go. And on this day in history, let's pick one here. What do I want to do here, Kimmer? What's the day today? Let's do this one. Oh, here, this kind of fits. On this day, exactly 50 years ago, 73, a ceasefire ends the Yom Kippur War. It started October 6th when Syria and Egypt on the High Holy Day of Atonement attacked. Eventually, Israel surrounded the Egyptian army and had them trapped. Russia pressured the Arabs and the Americans pressured Israel, and the thing was over. Yom Kippur War ended on this day 50 years ago. And, yes, sir?
You hear something interesting about Freddie Mercury?
Yes, I do.
They were technically Iranian or Persian, but they were Zoroastrians. His family were Parsis.
I've heard the Parsi. I don't know what that is, but I've heard of it.
And when Islam took over Iran, they basically left. And he was born in Zanzibar, which is off Africa, and they lived in India before they came to England.
Wow. His family?
Yeah.
Wow, I'll be damned. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Again, if it's we're calling this kind of a ghost story week or trick or treat Halloween week. If you have a Halloween story, a ghost story, a real one, or scary meeting of the bizarre, and so around Halloween time, we'd love to hear it. In fact, we got a couple of people who have actually done ghost hunting. Pete's done it, and we've talked to a guy who's done it before, and we may actually try to get him in here or whatever. But we'll see. We'll have a little, if you have a little fun on Halloween. And again, I'd like to know how you hand out the candy. Do you let them take what they want out of a bucket, or do you give them one thing out of your hand and say, "Here, take this. If you don't like it, trade with somebody." Which used to be the fun thing. You'd throw something in their bag. It used to be, "Hi, trick or treat. Hi, how are you?" And plunk, 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 and you'd start throwing stuff in their bags, and then they would have to see what it was, and if they wanted to give it to somebody else after they got done. So that was, anyway. Now I guess it's all. In fact, there's a bunch of memes going around about Halloween where now kids are showing up at signs at the door saying sugar-free, no starch, for signs for the candy they can accept. I don't know. Anyway, just a thought. Let's see. House Republicans have picked Tom Emmer, new Speaker nominee, but he still hasn't got enough votes to pass the full House. Some Republicans are holding out, and Donald Trump just blasted him once again on social media and his Truth Social. They apparently this guy Emmer, who's from Minnesota, he's a rhino. He's basically not the rhino, of course, from the morning show, the America's Anal Team, but is a rhino. And apparently he called Donald Trump over the weekend trying to smooth things over. But Donald Trump posted a message last night saying, "Now this guy's a globalist, a rhino. He's out of touch. It'd be a tragedy to have him be doing a mistake to do anything major in the Republican Party or for Congress." So, whether Whether that's going to hold on for a while, we don't know. Some members at some point are going to have to decide enough is enough. And they're going to have to, someone's going to have to do something. I mean, it's just stupid. And once again, we look like idiots. Let's see, 408. Should we talk about the freed hostages? Old lady, this 85-year-old lady, Lashevaved Lifship's grandmother and peace activist, released by Hamas yesterday. Wow, guys, what did I forget? Let's do something.
Some comedy bits.
Come on, thank you. Got Flounder. Let's get something funny on. Here's a Flounder with a Flounder's funny. Well, who do we have? What do we got?
It's
here?
crazy how free we are in America. I know everyone says that, there's no freedom anymore. But no, like, if I want to be a lady tomorrow, I can. That's how good we have it. I can just be a lady tomorrow, and none of you will say I'll be at the coffee shop, and your kids will be looking at me, and you'll be like, don't stare. Not one person's going to go, what's with the 6'4" bearded bitch? Not one person. That's how we just do anything. That's how good it is to be us. My dad couldn't have done that. My dad couldn't have just worn a dress to the factory. They would have murdered him. They'd have been arrested. The judge would have been some old white bigot. He'd be like, well, they had to kill him. He's wearing a dress. Not guilty. Get out of here, boys. Right? Not now. Not in the good time. Now, if I wear a dress to work and you don't call me Christine, you're fired. What a time to be alive.
That's a great point. If you don't call him guy with a 6'4" with a beard, if you don't call him Christine, you're in trouble. If you don't go by his preferred... oh, my God. What a point. Who's that again? A very funny guy.
His name is Jeff Dye.
Jeff Dye.
D-Y-E.
Very funny guy. But we'll mark him down as one of our go-tos. He's we got a few we really, really like, and he's one of them. A very funny guy. 404-741-1230 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And speaking of Christine, I've just named my car Christine. And later on, I may tell you why and how it's helping me through the trial of life.
Oh, we know why.
It's true. It's really a funny story. I just got it back. It was in the show. I had to take, had service, regular maintenance, nothing serious to maintenance, just service.
Are all cars girls?
I never thought of my car as a girl. I never named a car. I've never thought of a car really of that way. Other than I love my cars, but like I'm a car guy from the 50s, So, but I've never named it, and I never would have thought I would name my car after a girl. But it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect, and it makes me feel good.
This is weird. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
My first car was my grandmother named it. It was her car, so it was Betsy, the old Delta 88. But every car I've had that I've named since then, I've named male names.
Well, what's your Porsche?
I'm thinking of calling him Karl Heinz Porsche.
Karl Heinz?
Karl Heinz, because it's like a typical German name. Karl Heinz.
I'd be real careful if I had the window down with a stop sign. You're talking to your car or something. Maybe get the wrong impression.
I named my Jeep Thor, and I named my Neon Kermit because it looked like Kermit the Frog. It was green.
Ribbit. Oh, mercy. Cool. Flounder, have you ever named a car? Oh, he's in the back. Sorry, I could never. He's got
my first car I ever got was my grandmother's 1978 Cutlass Supreme.
Sweet.
So I named that Orca. And that's pretty much
Killer whale, baby.
That was the only car really named.
Outstanding. Anyway, and by the way, I also like my shoes. I like my shoes, and unfortunately, it also means the end of an era. And that's a whole thing. Maybe I'll talk about a little personal thing later on. And
by the way, I got new shoes recently.
Oh, well, now the last thing I heard, we got those stupid boots from China that leaked and they were water boots and they leaked, which was not supposed to be the name.
I always thought orthopedic shoes were overrated. Tell you the
You've
truth.
got orthopedic shoes?
But I stand corrected.
Stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen. Last week I got a neck brace, and I haven't looked back since. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, hey, wow. Stand corrected. My God, man. Have you seen my sign today? I used to have a great sex drive. My girlfriend lives 75 miles away. Yeah, like I have a girlfriend. 4:13, it's the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And we got Pete's tweets and Skynet and actual news. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's on the warpath, and I don't blame her. It's not going to probably go anywhere, but it'll be fun to talk about. And Paris Hilton, a shame on the people who are mocking her little baby. Well, horrible. Social media, I'm telling you, it's like cigarettes, and now 42 states agree with the Kimmer. Next with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 106.3. All right, here we go. 419 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and Ian Brown. Ian Brown was the former Stone Roses lead singer. And on this day, 1998, he got put in jail for 4 months after being found guilty of disorderly behavior, and I guess so, during an air flight from Paris to Manchester. Ian Brown apparently was getting into a heated exchange with a stewardess and threatened to chop off her hands, ladies and gentlemen.
I figured you'd get a kick out of that.
Oh, mercy. I remember, man, when I was doing TV anchor news and stuff, I actually covered a story of the guy who got out of prison. And he had served like 20 years in prison for cutting the arms, both wrists, off a girl in California. Both hands. And the community, he got released from prison. He served his whole time, and they couldn't keep him. And so they said, had to let him go. He had served his parole, the longest possible term. And so every community where he said, well, I've got a cousin here, he said, no, I was covering riots and protests for, anyway, I can't remember what happened to that. Let's see, a history note on this day, 1901. A school teacher named Anna Edson Taylor took her life in her hands and made history. Anna got into a barrel and took an 18-minute ride through swirling rapids to barrel ride over Niagara Falls and lived to tell about it. 1901.
Slowly I turned.
Yeah, I turned. 420 with a Kimmer, Pete, and a Flounder. Marjorie Taylor Greene has got a resolution to censure Rashida Tlaib, that slimy monster from Michigan. The MFer, the big monster in the glasses who is a Palestinian and who says Israel is guilty of war crimes and slaughtering innocent civilians and so on and so forth, even though she knows the truth about that so-called hospital bombing and still is telling lies. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene's trying to get her censured, and maybe she's been, kicked out of various committees and stuff like that. She wants Marjorie wants a House ethics investigation on her, too. And a quick update, Barack Hussein Puttitat, the divider-in-chief, the worst president we've ever had, says, well, thousands of Palestinians have been killed in the bombing of Gaza, many of them children. Hundreds of thousands have been forced from their homes. The Israeli government's decision to cut off food, water, and electricity to a captive civilian population threatens not only to worsen a growing humanitarian crisis, it could further harden Palestinian attitudes for generations, erode global support for Israel, play into the hands of Israel's enemies, and undermine long-term efforts to achieve peace and stability in the region. You darn Israelis, stop that bombing stuff. Okay, thank you, Puttitat. Appreciate it. Why don't you go back to running the freaking government now and, do it in secret like before. Doing Big Mike. God, I'm dying. 422. By the way, I'm going to talk about this America's former cigarettes, social media, cell phone. But first, I want to mention we have sold out in the golf tournament. Hey, Pete, you may not know this, but you and I are playing together in the Dogwood Golf Club and the Veterans Classic on Monday, November 6th. You and I are playing together, my friend. And by the way,
you did not know that.
Well, you know it now. You better find some clubs or something.
I have clubs. I have to find them.
Well, it ought to be interesting. Anyway, and you're going to drive because I don't want to keep score. You're going to have to drive and get the scorecard.
Okay. You're going to get me, you, and 2 sets of clubs in my car.
No. I mean, I'll meet you at the course. On the golf course. You drive the cart.
Oh.
It's silly.
Okay.
All right, we probably should
you're going to be the Jägermeister.
We probably should get. Oh God, I'm not drinking any more of that cough syrup. Oh Lord.
Jaeger.
Oh God, you may never open your eyes after a night drinking that stuff. Anyway, it's on November 6th, and it's sold out. And I want to mention a few of the sponsors who made all this stuff possible: Southwire, Hog Baron Law, Real Tree Outdoors, Georgia Power, Two-Way Radio Gear, and Tito's Handmade Vodka, which will be there in a magnificent supply, I might add. 423. Okay. Meta's getting sued. Holy moly. Meta, of course, is the granddaddy of what they used to be Facebook, and it's Meta Platforms now. And dozens of states, including California and New York, and a total of 42, including attorneys general, 42 states, are suing Meta Platforms, Facebook and the social media people, Instagram and Facebook, for harming young people's mental health and contributing to the mental health crisis among young people by knowingly designing features on Instagram and Facebook that are addictive to children. Addiction. I'm telling you, it's yesterday's cigarettes. Not only do they get the kids addicted, they routinely collect data on kids under 13 without their parents' permission or consent, which is a violation of federal law. There have been internal memos, their own research. The company knew about the harms Instagram can cause teenagers, especially young girls, when it comes to their mental health and their body image issues. One internal study of Meta itself cited about 15% of teen girls saying that Instagram makes thoughts of suicide worse. Almost 20% of teen girls says it makes them have eating disorders. And they admitted it in their own research. The use of social media among teens is basically 95% in America and most other parts of the world. They use social media almost constantly. To comply with federal regulations, social media companies have to ban kids under 13 from signing up to their platforms, but the children have been shown to easily get around the bans, both with and without their parents' consent. Many younger kids have social media accounts. We all know about that kind of stuff. But again, the issue is not only taking advantage of them, but doing it because they get them addicted. They use the word addiction. Children addiction.
Yeah. Well, he does collect not only info on them, but on everybody, and he sells it.
Yeah, that's right. That's why those things keep popping up. You didn't ask for all that stuff that pops up all over the place outside. Those are ads. And even things that are hidden, we don't know. You know, the subconscious things that are in their postings.
The rumor is they sell it to people overseas who have no laws to follow and can do spam stuff all day long. They sell it to these unscrupulous people that just work underneath the web.
Well, again, I almost got tricked into giving money to get money, and one of those things. Obviously, an overseas account trying to fake somebody I knew, and I mean, it's just Lord. And speaking of social media, how about this is really troubling to me. Paris Hilton. Now, I'm not a big fan of Paris Hilton. She's a trust fund baby who's famous for being famous, and she had that whole sex thing going on for a while there. Whatever. Anyway, Paris Hilton is the heiress, of course, an entrepreneur. Well, she just took to sharing new photos of her 9-month-old baby son, Phoenix, and put them on social media. Immediately, users began inquiring about what's wrong with that kid. One person asked if her son had encephalitis, inflammation of the brain. Others mocked his appearance. Paris Hilton has now shared her own sadness, writing in a statement, "Living life in the spotlight, comments are inevitable, but targeting my child, or anyone else's for that matter, is unacceptable. This hurts my heart more than words can describe. I've worked hard to cultivate an environment that is all about love, respect, and acceptance, and I expect the same in return. If I don't post my baby, people assume I'm not a great mother. If I do post him, there are some people who are just cruel and hateful. I'm a proud working mom. My baby is perfectly healthy, adorable, and angelic. I've dreamed of being a mom for as long as I can remember. Phoenix is my world and has been the biggest blessing of my life. Every day with him is a reminder of what truly matters. It's hard to fathom that there are such people in the world who would target such innocence. I hope that people can treat one another with more kindness and empathy." Well, of course, that gave some people supporting her, of course, accusing and chastising those who would bully a baby, for Lord's sakes. Her husband is Carter Realm, and they had the baby via a surrogate. Paris Hilton's 42, and she wants more kids. I don't know whether they had a surrogate because she's 42 and didn't want to go through pregnancy at that age, or couldn't, or I don't know. I don't care, and it doesn't matter. But anyway, she's got a baby, and she's nuts about the kid, and people are mocking him on social media. It's just... I mean, her point was, if you don't post pictures, they attack you for not, you're afraid you shamed your baby. So I don't know. And we have to mention, with just one brief mention, Swelsey, I guess it's called Swelsey, Taylor Swift, and Travis Kelce. And now there's a big social media article here on entrepreneur Cheria Gordon's Instagram account. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just put on their most loved up display yet. This person writes, if you've been equally obsessed with every minuscule update in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's love story after launching their relationship earlier this month, they've now put on their most loved up display, pictured sharing a kiss following the Kansas City Chiefs players' NFL match against the Chargers Sunday. You Need to Calm Down singer can be seen planting a kiss on his cheek. She's wearing a red colored Kansas City shirt. Anyway, so now she's kissed him on the cheek, and so everybody can calm down. And I guess they've gotten over the fact that she was partying with the brother of the other quarterback who's been charged with a sex crime. Although I still can't. I find it hard to believe that he went into a store, got in a fight with a guy at the store over getting a bottle of water, and then he had the girl manager come in the back room with him, and then she says he closed the door and grabbed her neck and tried to kiss her 3 times. And then I don't know. It sounds kind of bizarre. But hey, what do I know? I hope it all works out for everybody. 4:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We got Pete's tweets and Skynet and more news. And how do you meet your loved one? Coming up with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Do look out. 434, Kimmer Pete Flounder and Michael Jackson from 1987. Started a big 2-week run at number 1 on the singles chart with Bad. Man, the kid could entertain.
He could also entertain kids.
Yeah, well, that was the other problem. That's not what we mean by a switch hitter. It's kind of unfortunately.
Was that a palindrome there?
It was kind of a palindrome, sort of.
Kid can entertain. He can entertain kid.
There you are. Michael Jackson, 2 weeks at number 1 with Bad, number 3 in England. The music video for Bad was directed by Martin Scorsese and co-starred one of the first appearances of a yet undiscovered Wesley Snipes, released in late 1987, which I had. I don't know, it was a good one, Michael Jackson. Okey-dokey. And let's see if I found one more birthday of let's see. Here we go with the new format. Kevin Kline, born in 1947. Okay, 57, 67, 70, 87, 97, 27. That's 50, 17, 63 plus this 20 and 3. 76. Kevin Kline, 76 years old today. I knew that. I was just messing with you. Let's see. What do we got here? I don't want to do that one. We'll do this one. Why not? 1989, on this day, televangelist Reverend Jim Bakker was sentenced to 45 years in prison and fined $500,000 for his conviction on 24 counts of fraud and conspiracy stemming from his PTL ministry, Praise the Lord ministry. That was in 89. In 91, an appeals court reduced the sentence of 45 years to 18. Still, that's a wow. In 1994, Jim Bakker was paroled after serving just under 5 years. And when he was confronted about the missing $158 million that he claimed Satan had gotten into his ministry's computers and took away the money, when asked if he could prove that Satan stole $158 million, he replied, "Can you prove he didn't?" Oh, my God. Yeah. Jim Bakker. Was that the Paula secretary girl? Paula Hahn? And she posed in Playboy, I think, after that. Didn't she get a nose job?
No, Jessica Hahn.
Oh, Jessica Hahn. Paula Hahn was that's the news girl. I call her Zahn. I'm thinking, anyway. Sorry, I take it back. No suing.
And didn't he beg Jerry Falwell to come in and save PTL?
Yeah.
And Falwell came in and basically stole it, and so he accused him of stealing it from him.
I love it. Oh, mercy. 437 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our phone number, if you want to join us, is 404-741-1230, 741-1230. The Israel now wants the United Nations Secretary General to resign. They're not particularly happy with his stance on supporting the Palestinians and Hamas and not wanting Israel to fight back. The ground invasion is unclear when that might happen. We still have 10 Americans unaccounted for over in that area. John Kirby. What word did you use to describe him yesterday, Pete? Do you remember? Feckless, and I use smarmy. Well, he's at it again. He says, well, we were talking about evacuating Americans. We don't, don't hurt yourself. Let's see, for the Trump attorney, Jenna Ellis, tearfully accepted her punishment today for aiding and abetting the lawyers, blaming the other lawyers for giving her false information, which is why she got accused and admitted using false information because they gave me the wrong stuff. I didn't check my due diligence, and it's my fault for not checking them. So she blamed them and then said, well, I didn't check it, so I guess I'm guilty. So she got away with it, basically.
Is she also blaming them for all the stress eating she's been doing?
Yeah, right. She can't pass a Wendy's. Hey, is that Chick-fil-A over there?
I'm so stressed out. Give me another burger.
Yeah, please. Oh, Lordy. And Michael Cohen, the former attorney, the star witness against Donald Trump with the Attorney General in New York, the Trump-hating Letitia James, he's in court saying that Donald Trump wanted him to fudge the figures on his property to raise the value of it to be on the Forbes list higher up than he was. And, of course, Cohen is a criminal. He was convicted of lying and tax evasion and a bunch of things. In fact, I still can't believe, didn't they use some of his actual audio recordings with Donald Trump in his trial? I think they did. I think he gave them audio record. He could actually give them audio recordings with his permission, with his client, which I find astounding. I didn't know you could do that. And I may be wrong. I swear I remember that he was. I remember that I may be wrong, but my memory was that he gave that there were tape recordings. The latest on Clayton County's hotshot commissioner, Commissioner Felicia Franklin. I want to party with this chick. The special called meeting at the Clayton County Board of Commissioners has now voted unanimously to remove the title, the sanctions related to her messing around, prone on the ground, found drunk and disorderly, laying in a puddle of her own stuff there, and with smoking weed in her system at South Lake Mall at a bar in the area there. And she was waiting for she'd been drinking. She claimed somebody slipped her a roofie and made her all act goofy, so she was outside on a bench waiting for a ride when she collapsed. They found her in her own puddle of her own urine. Toxicology showed she'd been smoking weed and had a whole bunch of drinks. And now they've stripped Felicia Franklin of her role as the body's vice chairwoman, and she is still running for chairman of the Clayton County Commission. She would not resign. She still says she was drugged, even though the video shows she was not drugged. She was out partying. She was drinking. They also took away her ability to make board appointments, and they took away her ability to make zoning recommendations. So she's been stripped down to pretty much everything at the Clayton County Commission, still says she was drugged, and still wants to be the chairman. Come on, honey, admit it. They got the video surveillance camera, so you were just pounding them down. I mean, they got you. Anyway, why am I yelling? I'm sorry.
I could say something here.
Go ahead.
It would only lead to you saying something, and then we'd laugh about it, and later on we'd be called into the office. So I'm not going to say it.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Well,
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah, oh, goody. The Kremlin's now denying that Putin has had a cardiac arrest event of some kind. They're laughing about it. And the claim now is that he has body doubles because he's been in trouble for a while. And not only if he has a sickness problem, but also if he goes to a real dangerous place, they use a body double. Well, his people are saying, they're laughing and saying that's nonsense, fake news. We talk about it all the time. It's an absurd hoax. The word came out from the SVR Telegram channel run by one of his opponents that he suffered cardiac arrest Sunday night. They started his heart and got him back live again. He has changed appearances over the years at public events, and he's also changed attitudes. One time they said after a small civil war that he averted, that he's normally a pretty laid back and stoic, but he was uncharacteristically personable, shaking hands and planting kisses on all the young people and people goofing around them, which didn't seem like him at all. His a Japanese TV report used AI, speaking of AI, to analyze Putin's face, his walk, and his voice in multiple appearances. AI concluded that he does use a body double and maybe two body doubles. The body doubles after he underwent plastic surgery and years of training by Russian secret services to perform as Putin's stand-in. So I don't know.
Why do they always act like this doesn't happen? Churchill had it and was open about it.
I'm sure everybody does, especially for things where you're not going to get a close-up look on TV or something. But
did you ever read the book or see the movie where the eagle landed?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was all about that.
Yeah. Women in Iceland are ticked off. We do not want women in Iceland mad. Women in Iceland, aren't they all knockouts? Aren't they all blonde, blue-eyed, and gorgeous?
Yeah. And they outnumber guys like 5-1 there.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, also, this is bizarre. Iceland is 90%. Well, let me start over. Iceland's women woke up, and the mothers handed their babies to their husbands and said, "It's your job. I'm quitting for 24 hours." Schools closed. Public transportation stopped. Hospitals had nobody working. Hotel rooms were not clean. The prime minister, a girl named Katrin Chikindan, said she's going to stay home too as part of a women's strike, Kvarnaverkafal in Icelandic, expecting other women in her cabinet also to stay home and do the thing. Trade unions, the organizers call on women and non-binary people who refuse pay and unpaid work, household chores, everything for the day. 90% of Icelandic workers are in a union. 90%. Also, Iceland is known for the number one country that has equality, the world's most gender equal country, 14 years in a row by the World Economic Forum. It measures pay, education, healthcare, and other factors. Iceland is number one. And yet they have half women, half men in the cabinet. And yet they still say some low-paid workers, they do the daily cleanup kind of stuff, are still not getting what they should. So they've now called a one-day strike. They did this in 1975. 90% of the women handed their babies and kids to their husbands and said, "You do it." And nobody cleaned or looked after the kids for the entire day. And because of that, Iceland passed a law guaranteeing equal rights, irrespective of gender. So anyway, they're at it again. And by the way, if you ever take a look at the women of Iceland, they're unbelievable. I mean, they all look like, models, white hair and blue eyes. And I mean, they're just gorgeous. Obviously, that can't be true. It's stereotype. But still, I'm telling you, if you just Google it, you'll find out.
It's on the bucket list to go there to see the volcanoes.
Yeah,
and everything.
They are just under the Arctic Circle. Mm-hmm. Just below, they have as the island. It's a rugged island of 380,000 people, just below the Arctic Circle. Does it ever get warm?
When the volcanoes come out, yeah.
Well, and is that do they do the 6-month night and 6-month day in Iceland? I don't think so.
Bad.
I don't think they do that. But I bet they have long nights and long days half the year or something. I don't know.
Long nights are fine.
Well, thank you, baby. Sorry. 446 for the Killer Feed and Flounder. All right, no, we're not. We're good. We're good. We got more. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder. Have a little rock and roll. And Lori's coming up here in just a second. First, 1977, Keith Richards got in trouble. Keith Richards got fined about $300, admitting that he had marijuana, Chinese heroin, Mandrax tablets, and a revolver at his Chelsea home in Britain. Later that night, Keith Richards and Anita Pallenberg accidentally set fire to their London hotel room. Yikes. And a quick historical note here. Let's see. In 1989, Zsa Zsa Gabor was sentenced to 72 hours in jail and 120 hours of community service and $13,000 in fines in 1989 for slapping a traffic cop who had pulled her over. She said, "Don't you know who I am?" And it was her sister, Ava. Was it Ava in the Green Acres?
Yes.
And Zsa Zsa was just known as a personality. I don't even know what she was famous for. But she was.
They were the Paris Hiltons of their time. They showed up in Hollywood and basically used their looks to become rich.
And that was the time Xavier Cugat had Cha-Cha, the Cha-Cha girl. What's her name?
That was the 60s. Charo.
Charo. The Cha, yeah. Oh, Lord. Just, famous because they're famous. Let's see. Here we go. Lori's going to... There's a story about... I'll get to a little bit later on, but you were mentioning earlier about the way, funny ways or interesting ways or unusual ways you may have fallen in love or met the person of your dreams. And there's a story about a young woman in New York, 20-ish, who came home an early morning after a night out partying to find a strange man sleeping on her couch and had him arrested and then later married him. And it's kind of a weird story. And so we asked for people about weird relationship stuff. We may have one now with our friend Lori, I believe, in Alabama. Hi, Lori. Welcome. It's nice to have you aboard. I appreciate your call. What's up?
Hey, guys. Love y'all.
Yes, sir, ma'am. Thank you. How you doing, baby?
Okay. I don't know if you heard Clay and Buck earlier. They're really never really funny.
Yeah.
But Clay is the sportsman, and both of them are very historian, but Buck is like the sweater, little laid-back guy. He don't never get really into anything. Well, Clay goes, I'm going to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the Italian ambassador?
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know that story.
So, Clay, of course, Buck goes, no. And Clay goes, yeah. I said, they're having a little trouble over there. I said, the husband has put out that he wants not a twosome, not a threesome, but a foursome. Anybody wants to do a foursome with him. And, Buck has not said a word. Clay is about to die. And finally, he goes, well, I reckon there's trouble. And Buck goes, well, isn't a foursome like a golf team?
Golf tournament.
Clay goes, hey, that's a good way to get out of it. And I was picking my golf team.
Yeah, we're setting up a golf match, honey. You totally misunderstood me. I love it.
I just thought I'd break it up a little bit,
Lori, you have a great day. Be careful over here in Alabama. Great to talk to you, sweet girl. You hanging there.
Love you, buddy.
All right, sweetie. 4:53 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder here on Goofy Tuesday because we have lots of fun stories and weird things. By the way, I have a nitpick. I saw some video of my little mini bite-sized pancakes things that I had put on Facebook the other day in Rumble. And by the way, half the time I try to put a video on Rumble and it just stops. It'll say, next issue, and I'm supposed to hit the two little things, and it just freezes. So I don't know whether it ever goes in or not. It's horrible. YouTube is very easy to put my horse videos on. It's no sweat. Rumble's, I never know whether it works or not. Stupid. So anyway, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Anyway, hell, I don't care about the nitpick. Let's see. What's it going to do here? Guess what? Flounder I'm just checking up on the news. Well, Tom Emmer's out. That didn't last long. Remember, a few minutes ago, I told you that this guy, House Republicans, had picked Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota, known as a rhino, as their new speaker nominee. And again, he did not get all the votes in the secret caucus caucuses of just the Republican Party people, not the whole House. And he did not get all the votes he would need to enable to get over all the Democrat no votes. So but he was close, and they were still talking about it. And then I just mentioned, like 8 minutes ago, I quoted what Donald Trump was saying about him, that he's a globalist and a rhino. He's totally out of touch. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He would be a disgrace and a tragic mistake. Well, and his Trump support, now Donald Trump, all his supporters in the caucus in the House are saying, well, you heard the boss. We can't vote for him now. And so Emmer withdrew. So we're back to square 19 or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, there's another headline now. Israel and Hamas exchanging gunfire as the war rages on. So I don't know. God, the world's a freaking mess.
They're still they're coming over in incursions. They're still doing it. Hamas is, and everyone's telling Israel, you got to have some restraint here. Come on.
I mean, that's impossible. Again, this is, I still don't understand it. This can't be a God thing. I mean, when people complaining about it, you have to stop people attacking you so they don't kill the rest of you. Isn't that okay?
This is what happens when you have 3 or 4 generations of indoctrination on campuses to hate Jewish people.
But how could you, again, let's remember, Hamas started it. They just, out of the blue, boom, they came over and killed and attacked and bulldozed the walls. And it wasn't that they were reacting to an attack by Israel last week. Or, you know what I mean?
And it's not their land. It's never been their land. It never will be their land. It's not their land. Their land was in Jordan, as Neil Boards pointed out. They only called this because when the Jews got it in 1948, everybody, oh, no, that was our land. No, it wasn't. And the Jewish people have been there in certain numbers for 3,000 years.
That's even so. What difference does it make? It doesn't matter who was where and who was everywhere. If they're living there now and all of a sudden somebody comes over and slaughters your babies, you have 2 choices: either turn the other cheek or stop them from doing it again. And they're still trying to do it. They're still fighting. It wasn't like they said, okay, we give, sorry, let's call it off. Although that's what they're trying to. Oh, and by the way, we didn't do the whole story. That old lady, thank God she's free, 87 years old, and she's back now with her family. And she said when she was asked, she turned around when she was leaving and shook the hands of the Hamas guard with a gun guarding her. And he said, why'd you do that? She said, well, they treated us with respect. So I said shalom and shook his hand. And they asked her about conditions. She said, well, they made sure we had doctors. We had sanitation and sanitary things for the women in case they needed, supplies. They had doctors there to take care of us. They fed us the same food they ate, the same stuff. They took care of us. They didn't hurt us. Now they were beating her with sticks when she was on the motorcycle going to their eventual place of captivity. But she said when they were there, they treated them with decency and respect and medical care and food and everything else, which is going to prove for Hamas, you see, we love our little friends. We just want you to stop killing us. So that they can say, well, see, Hamas is, they want to end, they just want peace now.
The worst thing she said is they were in a spider web of tunnels.
Yeah. Spider web of tunnel. Well, we all know. I mean, everybody knew the whole tunnel system. You can't. And by the way, who's not to think they're booby trapped and gas poison? I mean, Hamas knew. Obviously, the planning was okay. We're going to attack them, and they're going to go ape Kwanzaa. So obviously there were plans to thwart the counterattack or to handle it. And so where are we? Where is it? Are they waiting for the gas attack in the tunnels and then wipe out Israel with neutron bombs or something they stole from somebody? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the end game here. They had to have planned for an eventual solution when Israel counterattacked. They said, oh, yeah, then we'll do this. But, well, what is it?
I don't think they planned too far ahead. Their whole plan on this, and they were spurred on by Iran, was to stop the Abraham Accords. It was to stop that treaty between Saudi Arabia and Israel and the U.S. That was the reason they did it, to cause a stink, saying, we're still here, you have to deal with this, and Iran put them up. Iran doesn't care if Hamas goes off the face of the earth. Hamas are Arab Sunnis. The Iranians are Persian Shia. The Shia think the Sunnis are the apostates. They don't care if they get wiped off the earth, just like the Israelis and the Jews. So basically, they have used Hamas, and when Hamas is through and wiped away, whoever does it, Iran says, "Oh, fine, we'll find somebody else to do our dirty work."
Yeah, Egypt's not going to take them. Egypt's got a wall.
No, Egypt hates them about as much as Israel hates them.
Yeah, they got the wall, and they got people with guns. Anyway, my Lord. Oh, my goodness, it's almost 5 o'clock. Holy cow. The Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's only us having a little fun on your Tuesday. And some Holy Crap at Sports and Pete's Tweets and Skynet and Flounder's Funnies. And it's all standing by at 5 o'clock. Look out. There we go. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. First squad to the rear. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. It's 50, almost 5:04 with Pete Davis and Flounder at 106.3. How's it going? It's Halloween week. Next Tuesday is Halloween. If you have a ghost story, we'd love to hear it. 404-741-1230. Just goofing around here today. The latest, we got newsy stuff. The Speaker of the House business is a joke. They're still going on in the Middle East with the Hamas and Israel. People, I guess they're dying in their attacks and their bombs, and everybody says this and everybody says that, and I don't know what's going on. I'm sick of it, frankly. I'm sick of it. I tell you. In fact, I can't wait for Holy Crap at Sports because we got playoff baseball. I got another 7th game tonight. Anyway, it's all coming up with Pete Davis. Also, Pete, you've mentioned this before. You mentioned one of the problems in China and other things around the world is population.
Yep.
Well, this is a little, and again, we talk about all the top news stories, and the guy, Remmer, what's his name, just got just dumped out of trying to be the Speaker of the House because Trump nailed him. So that was the end of the ball game there. There's fertility experts are now saying we're in for a real problem, and it's not just us. The United States birth rate is steeply declining, like many other countries, causing the global population to stop growing this century. We are not producing enough children to maintain the population, much less grow it. Today, 3/4 of the American counties and half of our states have more deaths than births.
Yep.
The data shows that the birth rate in America fell from 2007. The birth rate fell 22%. It means closing schools, shrinking college enrollments, fewer workers and consumers, not enough taxes to pay for entitlements. Right. Delayed marriage rates contribute to the falling birth rate. Incomes coming on later and later in life. You buy your house later, you get married later, you have kids later, you have your savings later, everything's put off. Elon Musk warned about this. If too many people are under the illusion the Earth is overpopulated, it is not. Even though birth rate trends are so obviously headed in the population collapse. The U.S. population is expected to grow a little in the next 20 years or 30 years, but it starts to decline, and the growth will be driven by immigration.
Well,
the shift will have a calamitous effect on the economy, rapid population aging and decline, and no country in the world's increased birth rates, and we're not going to either.
It's the entire Western world is in these straits. We are actually one of the better off ones. Europe is in permanent decline. Germany imported all those Middle Eastern Turkish workers because they thought they would help pay the Social Security system for the elderly Germans. Yeah. What's happened, the 2nd or 3rd generation, they're on the public dole too. So they're not helping out with their welfare state. They're sucking off of it.
Yeah.
So, and they're not we can only hope that the people coming across our border prove to be 2nd or 3rd generation better workers or harder workers, because that's the only positive thing about this border influx is it is helping our demographics to stay lower. But the problem is we are running out of workers. And Canada's running out of workers. Mexico isn't, but we are. So being a worker, unions are going to make a comeback because manufacturing has got to come back because globalization is going down. But it's like after the Black Plague when there were fewer workers, you're going to have the power back to the workers because you're going to be able to go where you want and demand the money you want because they need workers who are running out of them. And not only is it bad here, Japan is basically stabilized a little bit, but they're still shrinking. It's taken them 30 years to get out of their problem because they recognized it back in the 90s. China is on the verge of demographic collapse. They are completely, they undercounted themselves by 100 million. They've quit counting their census. They don't want to know. They didn't want to know how many COVID people they had. They don't want to know because Xi is insane and he's killed all the messengers that brought him any news. Okay, Germany's bad, Europe's bad, China's horrific, and Russia is just as bad, and that's one of the reasons they've attacked Ukraine, because they know this is their last gasp. Because after this generation or two goes by, Russia will not have enough young men to protect itself.
Well, it's a world issue, and it's kind of goofy and dry to think about. But the fact of the matter is, I'm more worried about the issue of world population than I am about the issue of the world overheating or the climate. I'm more worried about population change than climate change.
Well, there's more older people now, the younger people. We don't have enough people entering the workforce to be consumers to purchase products. That's one of the reasons globalization is going down. There won't be enough people to buy Chinese products, and we'll have to manufacture the stuff here or in Mexico probably, and there's just not going to be enough enough young workers, and they're not having enough kids to even replace themselves, much less another generation.
And if there are not enough workers and not enough incomes and not enough taxes paid, there's not enough money for Social Security and welfare and all the other and American security and investments and military and everything else.
The baby boomers have now taken their capital out of the market and are using it to survive on, to live on, and to retire. They're no longer this whole boom of the Silicon Valley. That was caused by us baby boomers giving them the capital to do this. That capital's not there anymore.
Yeah, let me raise my hand here for that. I'm the example. I'm the perfect example. I'm exactly the example. Which is why I'm happy and lucky to be working at my age. And folks, let this be I mean, it's true. This stuff is real. I mean, even though you make the right decision, sometimes it doesn't matter.
But
I'm sorry.
You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about how we're lucky over here, as opposed to other people, it's all geography when it comes down to it. We still have borders semi-protected by oceans. We also have, from Canada all the way down to Chile, we have people we can trade with on both the eastern and the western coast. We have navigable rivers like the Mississippi and Ohio, the St. Lawrence Seaway, that we can move goods around. And by the way, the Canadians are threatening to strike and close down the seaway, which is going to make products go up. It's going to make prices go up on some stuff on top of that. We have navigable riverways here. We can move things around cheaply. So and we got to build better train system and the pipeline system to make that better. But believe me, manufacturing is coming back here. We're in a manufacturing boom right now. They're not talking about it. It's been going on for almost 10 years now, and it's got to get better. We just got to build the infrastructure because the reason it's happening is that our energy costs are the lowest in the world now because of the shale oil revolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Davis. Wow. Very impressive, my friend. Hold on now. It's 5:11 already. Can we take our phone? We have a ghost call.
Absolutely.
All right. Yes. And who's this? I forgot. You told me and I forgot.
I believe it's Rob.
Robert. Is that you, Robert? How you doing? Welcome, buddy. What's up?
Just fine, sir.
Yes, sir.
In 2017, we had to attend a funeral in Williamsburg, Kentucky, one of the prettiest little towns you ever visit. And we got there early, and so we went over to the graveyard to see where the burial was going to be. And it's a huge graveyard. And we're standing around where they dug the hole and all talking about it. And this old man walks up out of the woods, and he says, I watch over this graveyard. I'm like, okay. He said, can I help y'all? So we were just looking at the grave. Okay. Thank you. So we get in our cars, and this graveyard is huge, massive. We drive to the other end of the graveyard. It had to be over a quarter mile. And we saw one of our names on one of the graves. We naturally get out, and they're checking that out. And here he comes up out of the woods again, and he says, can I help you? And I said, yeah, we're looking at his grave. We're looking at some of our family, names. You know how you go through a graveyard and you see your name, and you go out there and check it out. And it was just weird. He said, okay, I'll see y'all later. And he walks back off to the woods. And, we were
same guy?
Over, yes. And, we didn't. The more I think about that, there's no way the man could have cast from one end of that graveyard. It had to be a ghost, I'm telling you. It was a quarter of a mile, and he had to be 80 years old. It was just, it was weird.
I'll be darned. Well, hey, maybe, who knows? Honestly, in fact, I saw a show last night. I almost never watch these things, but I saw the show on Ancient Aliens or something, one of those things, and it was a new one from this year, and it was a documentary, and they had guys who swear to God and testify that there were aliens that they have actually talked to and have lived in captivity for years. They showed the hidden tunnels where they kept them in captivity. In fact, I got my notes over here. Where the hell are my notes? No, I can't find them. Here we go. The crash, a UFO crash in 1957. The survivors of the aliens met with President Eisenhower. They were ambassadors for UFO creatures, and they were saying, you've got to be worried about future of atomic weapons. They were advising Ike. They are envoys from other planets. The 53 crash in Kingman, Arizona. The creatures were kept alive for years. They've been doing this for years, and I'm telling you, I believe stuff like that is true. The guys were saying they would get a knock on the door. People who had seen UFOs and were actually with them and stuff. They would get a knock on the door from a couple of strangers saying, you really can't talk about this because we're here to protect the civilization or something. Going, whoa, I don't know. Robert, anyway, I appreciate the call, man. I'll bet it's all true.
That was weird. I'll never forget it. And the more I've thought about that, there's no way that old man could go that quarter mile in 5 minutes.
There you go.
Identical twins.
From the other side of the cemetery, from down the riverside.
Identical twins playing a joke.
Oh, stop, Mr.
Sunday
Grouchy.
Morning. I mean, nobody was out. It was early Sunday morning, and the funeral's going to be that afternoon.
I believe it. All right, Robert, thanks, man. Have a great 5:14. Holy crap, it's sports is coming on. Look out. All right, look out, 5:17, and it's only the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Coming up, the story of why I like my shoes, but I can't get used to them in the garage yet. But first, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
With Clerk ready now, 1-2 pitch, ground ball, second base. Simeon's got it. On to first to Nate Lowe, and hello, World Series. The Rangers have won their third American League pennant.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Settle down there, Eric.
Yeah. Try to cheer down, will you? God. Oh, my cheeks are burning here from the aching.
That has got to be the worst call of getting to the World Series I've ever heard.
From anybody, from a Yankee broadcaster. I mean,
was that the Astros guy doing that?
I was going to say,
come on,
that's the worst call I've ever heard.
I hate that about broadcast. I have to be, the voice of seriousness up here. By golly,
no,
you know what?
Don't.
No, shut the blank. It's like Tony Kubek is still alive or something. Come on, put a little energy behind
Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. Oh my God, I used to watch him every Saturday.
I hated Garagiola, but at least he was enthusiastic.
Yeah, he was fun. He was.
But
goofy.
Kubek, this is serious business. This baseball thing. We don't crack jokes here about it.
Unreal.
It put people off for a generation.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons baseball declined is people like Tony Kubek on the air. I'm sorry. That whole thing about it's just so damn serious.
That was horrible.
Why are you so serious? The Rangers are going back to the World Series. I'm showing more excitement for the first time in over 10 years as they soundly beat the Astros in Houston 11-4, Game 7 of the ALCS Monday night. Surging superstar Adolis Garcia, the MVP of the series, smashed 3 homers and 6 at-bats. He is the first player ever to have 19 RBIs in a postseason before the World Series even starts.
Wow.
19.
Yeah.
They await the winner of Game 7 between the Diamondbacks and the Phillies up in Philly. That's tonight. It's Texas's first fall classic since they lost in Game 7 of the 2011 series when the Cardinals made that historic comeback in Game 6. Braves third base coach Ron Washington was manager back then of the Rangers. They had lost the 2010 World Series to, ironically, a Bruce Bochy-managed Giant squad. So Bochy kept his record intact. He's never lost a Game 7. Dusty Baker kept his intact, too. He's never won a Game 7.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Baker told people he's basically going to retire. That's what we hear.
Oh, good.
The funniest part of the evening happened late when the disappointed home crowd had thinned out and chants of SEC could be heard. Hopefully for the Texas A&M fans, or next year the Longhorns fans, too.
Funny.
Or maybe the funniest moment was watching Houston business tycoon Mattress Mac lose $7.9 million American on his bet for the Astros.
Yeah, he gives. If you buy a bet and they win, he gives you your money back or some kind of national deal, as I recall. And he's won, $10 million, but he's also lost $10 million at a time.
Hopefully, this dynasty is over there. Everyone's sick of the Astros at this point. Yeah. The Rangers were given the 22nd best chance to reach the World Series before the season started. Excellent. It was like plus 5,000. You could have made a lot of money betting on them.
Yeah.
After the D-backs won Game 6 5-1 in Philadelphia, that put the Phillies into their first ever Game 7. Think about that. The Phillies have been around for 141 seasons. They're just now getting to a Game 7 in the postseason.
What?
Yeah. Because they won it in 1980, and they won it in 2008. They've only won it twice.
Oh, but they never got to Game 7. They had to go 7 games.
Even when they lost, they never had to get to a Game 7.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
That is amazing on that. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stros fans know exactly who to blame for their loss.
Oh, they do?
Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz has attended 5 Astros games. They're 0-5.
No, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you've been wondering what former Braves Pablo Panda Sandoval and Robinson Cano or even Bartolo Colon were up to these days, wonder no more.
Yes.
Sandoval, Colon, and Cano are among several notable former major leaguers selected yesterday in the inaugural draft of the Dubai-based Baseball League.
Yeah, Panda Bear, what do they call him? He got all fat. Was he playing third base and about 80 pounds overweight?
He was always fat.
I know.
So first they got the golfers and the soccer players. Now it's baseball. Cologne is 50 years old.
Oh,
Cano is 40. Pablo is 37. It's called Baseball United, the first pro baseball league in the Middle East and South Asia. Former Brave shortstop Andrelton Simmons, also among those selected.
Oh, my
Cano,
God.
an 8-time All-Star, went to the Dubai Wolves. They also have the Karachi Monarchs. How'd you like to play in Pakistan?
Oh, yeah.
The Mumbai Cobras, which is India, and the I don't know who in Abu Dhabi named this team, but they really need to rethink this. The Abu Dhabi Falcons.
The Falcons?
Yeah, why would you choose the Falcons? But anyway, the league's investors include Mariano Rivera and Barry Larkin, Hall of Famers.
For goodness sake.
And the man that's kind of behind this, president CEO of it, his name is Cash Sheik. Cash Sheik, yeah. He's also promised that 4 more teams are going to come along, and we're going to do things that Major League Baseball will not do And frankly, if he's smart, he will bring the Savannah Bananas over to show him how it's done.
Everybody, I've never seen him in person. I've only seen highlights and stuff. It's got to be the treat of all baseball fans just to enjoy something like performance like that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think it sounds like the XFL for baseball, what they're going to try and do over there. We'll see if this works. That's a lot of distance to travel from Pakistan, India, all the way to Abu Dhabi and around there. There's a lot of flying going on there.
Yeah, that's got a lot.
Padres manager Bob Melvin is leaving San Diego to manage the Giants. This has happened before. San Francisco took Bruce Bochy away from the Pods. And worked out pretty well 3 World Series wins later. Bochy, now with Texas, supposedly, I haven't checked on this, but somebody told me it's the first skipper to take 3 different teams to the Fall Classic.
Wow. Who's going to go to Houston, you wonder?
Now, I'm thinking, who are the 3 teams that Bochy? He took the Giants, and he took now the Rangers. Who was the 3rd team that Bochy had that he took? Trying to think. He probably was in '98 with the Padres, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
The team that beat the Braves in the NLCS.
Yeah.
Holy cow. The world's largest cocktail party this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. in Jacksonville. ESPN's FPI index gives UGA an 85.2% chance of winning.
Yeah, I would think.
Maryland offensive coordinator Kevin Sumlin arrested DUI in Florida over the weekend down in Tampa. He refused a breathalyzer, so that comes with a suspended license. He pleaded guilty, released on $500 cash bond Saturday morning. If you remember, he was a former Arizona and before that Texas A&M head coach of Johnny Manziel.
Oh boy.
So he was once an NFL head coaching certainty,
Yeah.
and now his career's pretty much shot.
Oh, boy.
The NFL is asking injury report compliant questions to the Falcons about why rookie running back Bijan Robinson wasn't physically well enough to play when he was on the sidelines, and they didn't say anything, and he only got like 3 snaps or something.
Well, what the hell's going on?
Well, he says he had started having headaches, so this sounds like migraines.
Oh, boy.
And he started feeling a little better on Sunday, so he thought he could play, and they thought, well, just, we'll hold you out. Either that or it's got to be discipline. I think it's a migraine-type situation. That's what it sounds like.
Well, it can't be that they don't want him on the field.
No, some had to be going on, because he's not the type of guy to give him any trouble.
Especially not, rookie and being a star when he gets out there to play. Yeah, that's silly. Yeah.
The Falcons may have handled it better, but who knows? They won.
Yeah.
The NFL power rankings are out. The Falcons are 15th out of 32 teams, right behind the New York Jets. Okay. Oh, don't we have a theme here, Flounder, that we can play?
Uh-oh.
Not a good Monday.
Well, what happened now?
4 wide receivers.
Oh.
Chiefs receiver Justin Ross, one of Patrick Mahomes' targets, arrested in Kansas yesterday. 23-year-old booked on a charge of criminal damage of greater than $25,000. He's still in custody as of this morning. He's probably out by now. The woman who called 911 on him told the operator that Ross drug her through the house, tearing it up as he went, using her as the
my
to do so.
Holy, they charge her. I saw the story. They charged him with damage. How about charging him with roughing her up and dragging her around the house?
We'll see. We'll see if that comes next. And Saints receiver Chris Olave arrested last night in Kenner, Louisiana, suspicion of reckless operation of a motor vehicle. Why do they call it reckless?
Yeah.
Well, his Dodge Charger was going 70 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. I don't know if you know this place, Joe Yenny Boulevard. It's in Kenner, whatever that is.
Oh, I'll bet you're mispronouncing it. If it's in, I know where it is, but it's in Kenner. Yeah, Kenner's one of the suburbs. It's really it's not a.
Now,
happy
why are you
place.
assuming I'm mispronouncing? Yenni? How would you pronounce it?
Oh, yeah, Yenny, but I thought maybe. Well, it's like Chapatoulas. If you saw the word Chapatoulas written down, Chapatoulas Street is a very famous street, and I'll guarantee you wouldn't be pronouncing it Chapatoulas. Or for example, wait, now hold on a minute. I got another one. You keep talking. There's another one. Terpsichore. Instead of terpsichore, terpsichore.
This is not a surprise that they can't spell or pronounce things correctly in Louisiana.
Yeah. And by the way, when you have a boo-boo in Louisiana, it's a bobo. I'm not making that up. If you want to go to, there's a famous grocery chain called Schwegmann's, and if you're wondering if somebody's going to be going to the store, you say, you got to go make groceries at Schwegmann's. Got to go make groceries.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
The Decatur Police Department described the neighborhood as mixed business, which in New Orleans means there's a lot of massage parlors going on.
Yeah, it's a strip mall type place, and storefront.
The whole place is a strip mall.
Yeah, it's not good.
The whole lower Louisiana. The Hawks about to start another season. Their center Onyeka Okongwu has agreed to a 4-year, $62 million contract. So good for him.
Wow.
He's played for. And finally, Shea Flores is the NBA's first out non-binary and transgender referee.
Oh, God.
Came out in GQ magazine yesterday.
Yeah.
It refereed, of course, they all kept saying in the newspaper article, calling it they. I'm not playing that game. I'm sorry. It refereed 35 games last season. I don't care that referees of her ilk, his ilk or whatever, are refereeing. What I find offensive is using the name of a racist communist baby murderer like Che as your name.
Yeah, Che Guevara was a butcher of children.
Yeah, he would shoot the babies while the mothers were holding them.
Yeah. Now, is this an actual girl pretending to be a guy or neither, or is the guy pretending to be neither? Do we know?
I have no clue. I've looked at it, and I can't tell what the hell it is.
Wow. So it's like Pat from Saturday Night Live.
Pat is now the referee.
It's Pat. Da-da-da. It's Pat. Da-da-da.
You know what? We need to get that theme, and every time we do a story like this, we play It's Pat.
Also on this day in history, 1997, Marv Albert. Merv, you idiot. God, I should just go home right now. You guys just talk for half an hour and I'll get out of here. Marv Albert, 1997 on this day, was spared a jail sentence after he apologized in court for eating his lover by the neck. He was chewing and chomping on her neck and her back and everything and doing all kinds of weird stuff. She says, "What? Stop, just no." And he got arrested and he didn't have to go to jail. But then they fired him and then they rehired him. So he's still working. Of course they did. He's Marv Albert.
And didn't she testify that he was wearing garters?
Yeah, wearing panties and a garter. Yeah, girl panties and a garter. Hey, the guy likes what he likes. 5:30 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, so don't go anywhere yet. Fun is coming up. Look out. All right, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, 5:31. We got a big special stars coming into town soon, and we're going to play a little comedy bit of his and see whether maybe people are still signing up, even though he just got in some trouble recently. All that's coming up, plus a bunch more, 5:31. Atlanta Safe House has your safe. You know, man, when I went down to Florida, I couldn't find my medical records. Luckily, my doctor from 20 years ago got in touch with him, and he's going to send me stuff I can use for my Veterans Administration things I'm claiming. Anyway, the story is I didn't have my safe down in Florida when I was retired, and I regretted it ever since, and it's caused me nothing but trouble. A safe from Atlanta Safe House like they had when I was up here before I retired and moved down there, and I had all my stuff in there. Not only, I had a couple of gun safes too, by the way. Oh, incidentally, gun safes are almost always, well, they are always on sale, hundreds and hundreds of dollars off. You won't get a better deal anywhere. And they have the best safes at Atlanta Safe House, all the top brands, American Security, Fort Knox, Browning, the whole deal. They will bolt them into the cement floor in your basement or your game room or your garage if you want, anywhere you want. And it's not just gun safes, jewelry safes, business safes, high security safes. How about a vault door? By the way, they also have, I'm not making this up, go to atlantasafehouse.com and you browse their products, what they have for you right now, including pistol safes, which are really handy because they're very secure and you can take them with you if you're traveling around a lot, stuff like that. They also, I'm not making this up, Atlanta Safe House will also build you a family storm shelter. I'm telling you, this is a no goofing around, non-woke company. When Liberty Company gave out Master Safe codes to somebody else, no, they're not going to do that. Atlanta Safe House would never do that, and they'll replace any Liberty Safe lock and give the customer the Master Reset code just to show that they're on the right side of the law and the people and the Constitution. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. They have a gallery in Ackworth. You'll love it. AtlantaSafeHouse.com. '60s rock and roll. That's right, baby. Yeah, I'm only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder. Notice how I did that kind of DJ thing there, timing out for the back timing of the 5:37. It's the Monkees, and on this day in 1966, the Monkees got interviewed by Newsweek magazine, and the reporter asked them how their music is created. Well, Davy Jones said, "Hey, this isn't a rock and roll group, it's an act. And he was not making that up. They were not singers. A TV executive guy said, hey, we want to do a show about the rock and roll singers. Hell, the Beatles are huge. It's 66. Things are going on. And they put these 4 guys together who were not particularly singers or anything else, and they made them an act. They were actors. It wasn't a singing group.
Mike Nesmith was a musician, but the other one's really.
Mike Nesmith was, in fact, kept it up for years. And in fact, didn't he just die recently, not that long ago?
Yeah, he died recently. He wrote the Stone Pony Linda Ronstadt hit, several hits.
But the rest of them were just actors. They were goofy guys, goofing around. And God bless them, they pulled it off. And still are. I think, aren't they still?
I loved them when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
That's my favorite show.
They all of them. Here we go with the wrong kind of birthday list where they did it the lazy way. They just birthday. Bill Wyman, born in 1936. 46, 56. He's 87. I hate when they do that. You got 80, 56, 76, 86. Jeez.
It's just played with them on that last album.
I know. Yeah, that's right. Pete just heard that. Yesterday we talked about it. This day in 1940, part of the New Deal, the Fair Labor Standards Act. From now on, the standard work week is 40 hours. Used to be a hell of a lot more than that. And still is for people who actually care about their business. And speaking of the economy, in 1929, it became Black Thursday in 1929 this day, a week before the Wall Street crash. But there was an indication of things to come at the end of the Roaring 20s. Again, 1929. In the fall of 1929, investors on the stock exchange on this day dumped 13 million shares, and the prices started to plummet. And bing, bang, boom.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
You remember that off-duty pilot for Alaska Airlines that tried to crash the plane?
Yeah, arrested on a charge with 88 attempted murder charges for trying to shut the engines off in flight. Yeah, what's it?
They know now why he did it.
Why'd he do it?
Well, he said about 6 months ago he started feeling depressed. And while he was on the plane, he goes, I pulled both emergency shut-off handles because I thought I was dreaming, and I just wanted to wake up, and I thought that would wake me up. Because he was on magic mushrooms.
Oh, my God.
It was his first time taking psychedelic mushrooms, and that's why he says he did it.
And did he say where this happened? Has he got a girlfriend who's a freak? Or, is this...
He is a husband, and he's got a wife and a child. He's supposed to be just the model husband.
That's what everybody was saying about this. He's a pilot, for God's sake. He's a guy. He's a real thing. And all of a sudden, I wonder, there's got to be a story about where the hell he came up with magic mushrooms. First of all, if he's just a regular, decent, honest, hard-working family man,
Kimmer,
where the hell did he come up with magic mushrooms?
Kimmer, I've had people come up and hand me them up here.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now, see,
because up here they grow everywhere.
I have to get out. Why
don't you bring those over here and I'll take a look
I'll be down there Thursday. You want something?
You got something on the truck?
I'll inspect those, make sure they're...
what are holding? Well, I wonder if somebody slipped. Did he say whether he took them on purpose or somebody slipped it to him?
Oh, he must have known because he knew he was on him. He was depressed.
Holy cow. And he thought that would help. Yeah, crashing with the 88 other people would be pretty cool, too. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, 5:41.
Wake you up.
No, that would definitely wake the hell out of me. A couple of quick things. For like 3 days in a row now, the local news has come out with warnings about parking at the airport, the Hartsfield Airport. They've shut down the south lot. Thousands of spaces are gone. They say if you want to try to park at the airport, you have to make a reservation. A reservation. The lines are incredible. People are missing their flights. They say get there at least 3 hours before you're leaving. At least 3 hours. Massive construction projects, which won't be done until 2034. That's 11 years. Travelers missing flights. Again, you have to make a reservation if you want to park at Hartsfield. Obviously, people are taking Ubers and whatever other alternatives. I used to park in Brookhaven and take the train down there. It was very simple and easy. And a quick business thing. Chevron. By the way, I thought that the first thing President Shower's daughter did was shut down the pipelines until people were getting out of the oil and gas business. Well, guess what? Chevron has just bought Hess Gas for $53 billion. The second mega deal this month. Energy prices on the rise. Somebody must know something. Hovering around $90 a barrel gas prices. Ukraine invaded by Russia. Another 9% higher this year. The Chevron Hess deal comes less than 2 weeks after ExxonMobil is buying Pioneer Natural Resources for $60 billion. And I thought the gas and oil industry was going away forever. It's going to be all electric, people.
No. Pioneer was T. Boone's Pickens type stuff. It was all these little companies in the Permian Basin of Texas where all the shale oil is.
Yep.
And it was the little companies like Pioneer that were doing all the breakthroughs with technology.
The shale oil, like you mentioned,
with fracking.
Yep.
And now the big boys have moved in and said, well, look, there's where all the oil is. So they're buying up all these little companies.
Yeah. And it's but again, this is hardly the end of the oil and gas industry.
No, it's just started.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a revolution in oil. In fact, just bringing up the oil brings up natural gas with it. So we're doing 30 to 40% of our electricity is now from natural gas, not coal.
Yeah.
So we've actually gone down. Our carbon footprint in America has gone down, while countries like Germany, who've spent over $1 trillion, their carbon footprint is going up because they're still having to use coal.
Yeah. And how about that super fog pileup on interstate near New Orleans? Louisiana State Police, 150 vehicles, 7 people dead, dozens hurt. The backup 11 miles because of fog. One guy says we were in a portion of like 15 cars that were kind of in a little circle and didn't get hit. And he said he was a little pocket, and all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, bam, bam, boom, bam, pow, all these crashes behind us and all around us. 150 cars and trucks. Part of the interstate I-55 near New Orleans is still unusable. There was so much damage. There were fires on the road, cars. In fact, the emergency crews brought tents with portable restrooms and communication centers to stage for the recovery and the cleanup, which could go on for a very long time from fog. Holy cow.
You sure it wasn't Saints receivers driving fast in their Dodge Chargers?
Well, that could be very possible. Anyway, I don't know. I guess it's very possible. 5:45 here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on your Tuesday. Also coming up, what do we have coming up? I know something very exciting, and that's coming up. Well, it'll be funny.
Break coming up, and then we got some funnies coming up,
some funnies,
and then possibly Pete's tweets,
and maybe even a Skynet.
I have a Skynet for you.
Or a Skynet.
Well, we'll do that next with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounders, quarter 6.
6-3.
Look out, baby. Got a bag or something going on for you, Dave. Look out. James Brown. What a performance in Blues Brothers, dude, too. What a character. I gotta go.
Hot tub. Ow!
Well, on this day in 1962, this was the day soul singer James Brown recorded his legendary Live at the Apollo album, listed at number 24 on the Rolling Stone magazine list of 500 greatest albums of all time 20 years ago. And James Brown, man, that guy could move too. Even at his age, he was older, and he still, he talked like Mick Jagger. Quick historical note or two. This was the day in 2002 the D.C. snipers are arrested at a rest stop off Interstate 70 near Myersville, Maryland. John Mohammed and Lee Malvo were sleeping in their car.
Muhammad, you say?
Muhammad, yeah, ironically. Got that teenager to help him murder all those people. 18 years ago, 2005, civil rights pioneer Rosa Parks passed away at the age of 92. Boy, I take 92 pretty much right now. And 1970, 53, holy cow, it's 53 years ago. President Nixon asked record companies to stop all those songs with lyrics about sex and drugs. And his request is still being honored today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we'd be happy to do that for you, Mr. President. We'll get right on it. We can put our best guy on that. Staff. Damn it. Anyway, I don't think that's going to work. I mentioned this is killing me. I'm so stupid. I love my wearing shoes. When I retired, like 2007 or whatever it was, and went down to Florida and got my horse. I wore cowboy boots every day since 2007 until recently, and I started realizing that I don't have Jack the Good Boy anymore. And I finally realized, what was it? A couple of months ago, guys, I said I'm going to stop. So why am I wearing these boots? And so I started wearing. I bought a pair of shoes, and they're the new modern canvas-looking things with the soles. Anyway, and I love they're light and they're comfortable and you can't even hear me walk. I mean, they're perfect. They're great.
Oh,
and what?
You still stomp. I hear you coming off the elevator. You still stomp when you walk.
But not like before. But the problem is, I hate it. I still, for 15 years or whatever it's been, I would come home from go in the garage and take off my boots. I have a little boot puller thing. Take off my boots and walk stocking and my socks up to and live in my house, and then go to bed. And the next morning, I'd get dressed, put on my socks, go down to the basement, put on my boots in not the basement, the garage, put my boots in the garage. It's a 3-story townhouse in the garage, and go to work. Well, now that I'm wearing shoes, I don't put I take my shoes off in the garage. I wear them into the house, which I've never done. I've lived in this house for townhome for 10 years. I have never worn boots in the townhome until I've worn my shoes now. And the problem is, so I take my shoes off, downstairs where I have my pants ready to go to work, but I still keep walking down into the garage and said, "Oh crap, you idiot! You've got to go back up and get your shoes." I mean, it's amazing. And the reason I'm fighting it, I realize this is so stupid. I'm fighting it because it means the end of me being a cowboy with my horse, and it means that the past is past. And I know more. I can't think and seem and kind of do a little thing like a cowboy with my horse, and that's fun. I mean, it's amazing. And I guess I'm fighting it by that last little thing of trying to get rid of it forever, and I can't quite let it go. Isn't that silly? Little things like that. I tell you, the older you get, more stuff like this. It's amazing. It becomes part of your life. It's the damnedest thing.
I have an idea.
Yes, sir. Oh, my God. It's time. We got an update on A1. The A1 update right here. Because, now they're having pilots are going to be using A1 in the cockpit. So I don't know. Pete Davis with your A1 update.
They're going to be having A1 steak sauce in the cockpit.
Well, it looked like
That's what I was
A1.
just thinking, actually.
You know damn well they use Worcestershire sauce.
Worcester?
Worcester's. I can never say that.
No one
Wash your
can.
sister.
No
Wash
one
your
can.
sister's char sauce.
Worcester. Anyway, you'll love this. Our good friend Senator John Kennedy of
I
Louisiana
love him. Yeah, he's a great guy.
has gotten together with a Democrat from Hawaii
Oh, all right.
by the unfortunate name of Brian Schatz. But they've introduced the AI Labeling Act to protect Americans like you
Oh.
from scams involving artificial intelligence.
Well, good.
They will basically put a label on every content that has to be generated by AI and tell you. It'll tell them whether you are reading, seeing, or hearing a product of AI. People deserve to know whether or not the videos, photos, and content they see and read online is real or not. The bill is simple. If any content is made with AI, it will be labeled so people are aware and will not be fooled or scammed.
Yeah, but you would have to go along with that law in order for it to work, right? In other words, they'd have people be on their honor that they lied, that there was no AI in there, right?
Well, they basically have to hire people to prove that you had done it.
I got you. Well, good.
It's a whole new industry to catch the people who are doing it.
I love it. We need it. Well, I hope it works because we're in it. Whether we like it or not. I've been reading stories about pilots, the new co-pilots of freaking machines, GPT and AI for fighter pilots. And by the way, that's probably good.
Wonder if it's going to look like, the blow-up one from Airplane.
Yeah, the little rubber one.
Smoking a cigarette afterwards.
Yeah, with crazy eyes. What's his name? Google eyes there, blind eyes, or whatever the hell he was.
What?
Not an Airplane. I was thinking of
what a shock.
Charlie Sheen with the one where he with Sea Hunt. The old Sea Hunt guy was the admiral, and Charlie Sheen was the pilot, and I don't remember the name of the
Are you
damn
on
thing.
mushrooms?
No, the name of that movie, the funny movie, the Airplane.
Airplane.
You're talking about the parody of Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
it was
the Charlie
Rambo.
Sheen Rambo parody.
I forget what
that was.
I didn't
oh
see
my
that.
God! Oh, you must have seen that with Lloyd Bridges.
I didn't see
and
that.
Charlie Sheen. Oh my
Lloyd
God!
Bridges was an airplane.
No.
Hot Shots
Yes,
Part
Hot
2.
Shots.
Hot
Shots. There
Lloyd
you go.
Bridges was an airplane. He was in the tower.
Oh, yeah, he was in it. Yeah, he was in both. He was in both.
Okay. Bad day to quit
yes, he
smoking
was.
cigarettes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bad day to think of smoking, sniffing glue. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, let's check the
There's
radar
the sale
range.
at Penny's.
The dead-eyed Mike from Breaking Bad was the guy checking the radar range. Remember that?
No, he was another guy in there. but he wasn't the gay guy.
No. Dead-Eye Mike was the guy who said, let's check the radar range.
Oh, okay.
The gay guy did the, what do you make of this? Oh, my, what do we do? Our
I got a
558.
quick comedy bit from Chappelle.
Yeah, there we go.
When I watch sports, I be thinking about think about okay. Say LeBron James changed his gender. You know what I mean? Okay, can he stay in the NBA, or because he's a woman, does he have to go to the WNBA, where he will score 840 points a game? What does it actually mean to be equal? You know what I mean? Like, if women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there? You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us. Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the up.
And he's going to be in town at State Farm Arena on Halloween night. And he got in trouble the other day. We'll see what the sales are going to be. He's one of my favorites of all time. I don't care what he says. Almost 6 o'clock. Hoorah, Semper Fi, I got to go. You're killing me. Give her Pete Flounder. See it, Bob, and herp. Look out.